And I am aware of a lot of the work and the projects and the activities that humanity does, and some of the beautiful projects that I have seen that humanity is supporting the children. I have seen some projects like with coloring and some other stuff, also with toys for the kids. And I think the kids who are going through all these war, genocide, they are in big need for these activities, for that support, for that love that you in humanity is showing. And I'm so also impressed about humanity that you are not only Yazidis, not from this individual group or individual people. You have also people from different backgrounds, from different religions, and you are all helping and supporting the communities, the vulnerable communities under the umbrella of humanity. I would like to ask you, like, you have done so much with humanity and individually, but that didn't stop you also to become a voice for your people, and you got the invitation to speak at UN in 2015, and your speech focused on the ISIS and its impact on women. I would like to ask why you chose this subject, why women in particular, and what was your message?
Yeah, well, and in terms of my speech at the headquarter at UN in New York, USA, we were invited back in time, me and a colleague of mine, Mr. Khadir Domele. We took one of the survivors, and we were raising awareness about the situation. We were invited by an organization, and then through that program and through our visit there, we were invited to give a testimony at the United Nations, and I had the chance to give a short speech as well. Our main focus was on all the minorities, and specifically Yazidis, and the persecution that were happening against Yazidis and the minorities in Iraq, because Yazidis were the biggest, let's say, they got the big portion of let's say usage and negativity in terms of the ISIS crisis. We were the ones that lost the most, basically, I can say. The topic was also about women, because we had one of the survivors with us. She also gave a speech, and Mr. Khadir Dumali, he gave a speech as well. We were talking about the minorities in general, and the topic opened on the women and the survivors as well. My main message was that people and organizations, governments, everyone needs to come and support these people, and they need to, let's say, ease the burden on these affected families and these women and all these children. They're traumatized because not only those who have been captive by ISIS were traumatized, even those others, their families, their like their friends, and everyone was traumatized with that. So the effect on the crisis was really big, that affected the people not only from Sinjar but everyone else, like including myself. I really wanted to do something in order for me to respond to the crisis, because that was one of the main needs back in time, and I dedicated myself, my time, my resources, my, like, even financial resources, everything into that cause back in time. And then I continued. I lost many opportunities, and I don't regret, to be honest. I did benefit from focusing on this by supporting others, by helping others, by I'm really happy that what I could see. I mean, I can give you an example. When in 2017, when the Iraqi army came to Sinjar, specifically to Sardashti area, I was happy to hear that some of our previous beneficiaries, that they used to be like underage, either 18, But like after several years of receiving, trainings and different activities in our project and classes and so on, they got to the age of 18 and they joined the army themselves. I was happy to hear that they were protecting our centers and the center on top of Sinjar Mountain, and they were like, nobody can touch this center and nobody should touch this center because we've benefited from it. To me, that was a big message. That was a huge feedback from the community that we really did something. We really supported these people, and I was happy to to listen to that directly myself, not only by the reports, the monitoring and evaluation reports we were receiving from the area throughout our projects, but that was like, to me, that was, that was it. I was like, we've done something. This is what it is. This is what it should be. This is how it should be. So I was happy to hear that, and like at the same time, they will still need more. They need more support, and there is a huge need for all the sectors, to be honest. If Sinjar is not built, how people can go back? At the same time, Dawood, if people don't go back, how it can be built? It's like a puzzle, to be honest, because I'm not with the idea of immigration, but what can these people do if they are here with the situation? If people stay in the tents and the camps in Kurdistan, different other areas away from their lands and their homes, it is because the infrastructure is destroyed in Sinjar and it's not being built. It's being built very, very slowly. The people don't have good situation to live in Sinjar. That's why they're staying. At the same time, if they don't go back, how can organizations and government support and help? Because as much as people going back, as long as people going back, more projects are being focused on Sinjar. If we look at Mosul, for example, many people immigrated from Mosul and they they departed back in ISIS time and so on. But now people are going back and Mosul is being rebuilt. The same thing with other areas. But I don't know what is I don't want to take this political, but the Sinjar is being like an abandoned area.
Yeah.
Nobody is doing anything to it. When I say that, I don't mean it literally. Nobody is doing anything because our organization and many other organizations, locals and international organizations, the Iraqi government, the Kurdish government, everyone is trying to do something in a way or another. But we are talking about a whole city that is being almost completely destroyed, and the infrastructure is destroyed, the electricity is destroyed, the running water is destroyed, everything is destroyed. If that is not being built and if that is not being rehabilitated, people will not be able to go back. And again and again, I always want to say, if people don't go back, how it can be rebuilt. So the situation is different. Going back to the main question, that my main message was, we need more support. We want other organizations and other governments to support and to start rebuilding this area, because however however the situation is in Sinjar, people want some safety. If you look at the Maslow's hierarchy, safety is one of the main things as well. People we can build the capacity of people, we can help people, giving them trainings and so on. But what can we do with people that they don't have food to eat? What we can do with people that they don't have good shelters? Nobody's supporting and building their shelters. Again, I don't want to say that nobody as of nobody, but what is being done is not enough, to be honest. This is a point I want to raise everywhere, actually. And what is being done in Sinjar is not enough for the people living there, and also for the people being in the camps. So the need is really big, and those people need lots of support, and many projects are required. Many, let's say, different kind of activities are required for these traumatized people. and all other, everyone else. So that's a thing. I mean, I raise it back in time. Again, I'm saying it now that Sinjar needs to more support in order for us to that we can even tell people go back. I mean, we as organizations, not as individuals, for sure, because as long as they are here, the area will be ignored. But to be honest, Dawood, we have good number in Sinjar that should bring the attention to all the organizations and all the governments that Sinjar needs support and needs help. When people see that the infrastructure is being built, the streets are being, let's say, redone, the electricity is back, when they see good life, some security, as that's the main point here. If they see that, they will go back themselves, voluntarily they will do that. We don't, no government, no individual, no organization need to tell them what to do, because we can't tell someone to do something. So that was my message back in time, and even now I'm saying it, like we Sinjar was one of the areas that has the biggest number of Yazidis gathered all together, and unfortunately, they faced a situation that had them go all this situation. The biggest struggle here is that all these women and children being kidnapped, and we don't know, we don't know the future of thousands of them. We don't know the current situation of thousands of them even now. That's really sad to say, but crying over that is not going to solve anything. Being upset about that is not going to solve anything anymore. We need to do something. We need to come together. We need to be united. If we're not united as Yazidis from different areas, we cannot, achieve what we want. If the crisis is not recognized internationally by all the governments and all the United Nations and everyone as genocide, and being counted as one of the genocide that we as Yazidis say the 73rd genocide, if it's not going to be officially recognized as that, that's a big deal, because if that happens and takes place, it will be like, the situation will be different. I mean, I don't want to get into details that I'm not sure about and I don't know of. I don't know everything, I don't want to talk about things that I'm not 100% of the information that I can provide. So yeah, that's something needs to happen. We need to come together in order for us to do something for ourselves. Yes.
Yes, and I totally agree with you. And you have covered like a few subjects that are like basically the needs of the Yazidis or the demands of the Yazidis. And one thing that you mentioned and your message was the most vulnerable people that our community is the women and children. Especially we had more than like 7,800 women and children who were captivated by ISIS, and only I believe like 3,500 of them or 4,000 have been released. And the other thing is that like 2,000 from these 4,000 who've been released, they are still in the camps, either in the tents or in Sinjar mountain, like in some places in Sinjar. And there's very little has been done like since like the genocide happened. And the fact about like you told your speech at UN in 2015, and still you are like demanding from the international community for the same thing, is showing that only very little has been done for the Yazidis. We still have we have 3,000 Yazidi are still captured by ISIS that nobody know much about them, or nobody is doing anything to help to rescue them. And at the same time, we have about 2,000 women and children who rescued and are still living in the camp under like very poor conditions.